Thank you for tuning in to Shared Hope International's Invading the Darkness, an anti-sex trafficking podcast. We want to acknowledge that the content we discuss can be emotionally challenging and may evoke strong reactions. The stories we share often involve tough subjects related to suffering caused by sex trafficking, which may be difficult for some listeners to hear. Listener discretion is advised.
My extent with minors is people who are already in my program that are not minors, but they have talked to me about how they started when they were young. And they always talk about how the girls out on the street now are minors. That's what I know. I know that a lot of the girls that are out walking 27th Avenue here or wherever are like 16, 17 now, and they lie about it, but like you can tell. And that's what the girls in my class, they'll tell me. They say that they try to tell them to go home and stuff, but they don't like, they get so glamorized that they think that they should be there and are happy about it pretty much. And they're not really happy. It's just a fake smile, but and a lot of my clients, I actually was telling, like, I just had one after I talked. She laughed it off because trauma does stuff to your head, but she said, "Oh yeah, no, I started when I was 10." And I'm like, 10's really young. Oh my gosh, I'd not heard 10. And she's like, "It's okay." She's like, "I was better than being at home with my rapist." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, it's so real." And just the way that she laughed it off, I'm like, "You are smiling, but I know what's really going on in your heart because holy crap." During the intake, I ask them a lot of questions and I get to know them pretty well. Like not like obviously as much as I can in 45 minutes, but I like to start my interviews by letting them know that I also had been through it and stuff, so that way they feel comfortable and they'll usually talk to me more about things. And yeah, she told me a lot of stuff. Like she said the only reason that her mom left that guy is because he died, her rapist. That was one of the more intense stories I've heard. There's another girl that I met through a Facebook group that I was in. She was 5 when it started. And it was her child's father's dad who originally trafficked her. And then eventually it was the father of her child. So the guy passed it down to his son basically, like, and he took over trafficking her. And that girl, it took forever to get her out here, to get her away from that guy. It was a lot. Just, she was so scared, like so scared and pregnant for part of it when I was first talking to her. Now her kids are still up in Indiana with that guy, and I don't know if they're okay or not. I have no idea. But I know she got away. She came here, the Dream Center. They work with kids and younger girls because she was younger. Like she was 20, maybe 23, I think. They do up to like 26 is how they work with, but like anywhere from like 13 to 26. Anyways, they got her a bus ticket and got her out here. And she didn't like their program, but she ended up going to Minnesota to Breaking Free. Yeah, she got free by doing that. So she's now okay and has an apartment and is doing okay in her life. But it took so much to get her away from that. It was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah. And she said that her family started trafficking her when she was 5. I've had at least 5 girls come to me, "Lindsay, I'm so scared. I need to get away, but I don't know what to do." And then I try to work with them and find resources and get them away. And I've had, luckily, at least 3 of them that I can think of like, have gotten away. They've called me later and been like, I'm safe, I'm okay, and I'm good. But it takes so much, and they get so stuck in that situation. It's so scary. Housing to start, and then not diversion because you don't need a diversion at that point, but case management alongside like just therapeutic activities like groups and things like that. Like, but to start, just my biggest thing, I'm gonna say it again, is housing, 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 housing. They need places to go, and they'll get one shot to get away, one shot to make it okay to get themselves safe, and then you hear the words at capacity. And how discouraging is that? What do you mean you're at capacity? I don't care if you're in bed. Stick me in a corner. I want to live. I just feel like having that time with them, getting housing set up, of course, and then having time with them to talk to them and really express, like, I got you. I'm here for you. And you're okay now. and then talk through the things that they need to talk through. Because that's the biggest thing. They just want to talk. They just want to get it out because they're so alone out there. They're so isolated. Like, and that's one of the biggest draws I've had when at the end, when I do exit interviews, I asked them what the most meaningful part of the program was. And so many of them had said the community, where they found this sense of community because outside, even if they have wifeys with their, like, who are under their same pimp, or even if they have, like friends, like, partners on the street, they're all out for themselves no matter what. They're there for money. They're there for their pimp. They're there for whatever their reason is. They're not there for the other girl. But when they come to our program, they meet girls who are in a similar mindset as they are, whether they're trying to get out, not trying to get whatever, they still are all safe and able to talk, and they're not there just to get money or to, like, stab you in the back or do something crazy. So they find women that are a lot like themselves, and they're able to actually open up and become vulnerable, and they've told me that it mattered to them. Yeah, employment pathways would be a good thing too. And it's hard to find employment. It's hard for them, and that, like, a lot of them have never had a job. I'm definitely working with a girl who's never had a job right now, and she's having a hard time finding employment. She's really struggling, and she's trying. She's living at her sister's, so she is away from her pimp. That's one of the ones that I was talking about that got away from her trafficker. She's doing okay, but she needs money. She needs to sustain herself, and so finding that employment is essential too. So I mean, maybe doing employment workshops with them, or resume building workshops, just those type of things to help get them more in a forward moving mindset would be also helpful in a program like that. If they had a housing program with case management like that, that'd be cool. They need to realize that they're being beaten. They're being hurt. The word is chopped. I hate it. Oh, I got chopped by my pimp today. Yeah. So they need to realize how bad these women are being abused to start, to not look at it from, oh, they're breaking the law perspective. They're breaking the law because they don't want to get hurt. It's easier to break the law and run from you than it is to get away from that guy. Because pimps will find them. They do. And so, I mean, I think they just need to know that they're reharming people who are already being hurt by doing that. I will tell you, I do believe that I like the consequences that lead them to me, but a diversion program, not jail. You know what I mean? Things like that, like where they don't put the arrest on the record necessarily, but they, like, give them, go over here and just get some lessons. Because I feel like it works, that talking to them and like getting into their mind that way helps them to start to understand that they have been hurt, they have been trafficked, they are in a bad spot. Because sometimes they come into my program, like, they don't even realize what's been done to them. So if you take out the law from it, it kind of takes that option away from me to be able to get to them. But at the same time, I don't think they should go to jail. You know what I mean? So if you talk to the people, I don't know, the higher ups, and tell them that they're being hurt, that you coming after somebody like that is you coming after somebody who's gonna get beat. They're gonna get beat for you coming after them too. Like, just them talking to the police or getting caught in general, because it should be like they should know better than to get caught or whatever. Like, that's something I got taught, that I should know better than to get caught. That was my fault. People just should know that they're not at the lowest of the low. They're not bad. They're beautiful women with beautiful hearts and some of the most intelligent people I've ever known. And they deserve a second chance too.
Wow. Lindsay's story is such a powerful example of how the cycle of exploitation can really take root and how difficult it can be to break free. What really struck with me, Kim, is when Lindsay shared how she felt alone and trapped in the life, even when she knew it was damaging, and yet it wasn't until she found a community through the diversion program that she was able to take her first steps towards freedom.
Exactly. It's so heartbreaking to hear how survivors like Lindsay feel like they only have one shot to escape, and yet there's still so much risk involved. But the key takeaway here is the importance of community based services. These survivors need more than just a place to stay. They need a support system that can help them rebuild their lives. The lack of housing options and community based advocacy is a huge barrier to leaving the life.
That's a great point, Kim. Lindsay mentioned how essential housing was to her and the girls that she works with. She says, they have one shot to get away. And I think that's such a powerful reminder of why we need more shelters and transitional housing options. Survivors need a safe, stable place to stay so that they can heal. And that's where programs like Exploited, Understanding Domestic Minor Sex Trafficking come in. This e-learning training helps community leaders, educators, and social workers identify trafficking victims early and connect them to the right services.
Absolutely. And the role of healed survivors in these programs is critical. Lindsay herself has experienced the trauma and understands what these young women are going through. She's living proof of why survivor-centered healing and advocacy are so important. When survivors work with others who are trying to escape, they are able to offer real empathy and guidance, and they make a world of difference, as we know, Yvonne.
Exactly. That's a deep connection that only someone who's lived through it can offer. And Lindsay has seen the signs of young girls who are stuck in the life, even if they look like they're older or seem happy. She shared how these girls often hide behind a fake smile or a sense of pride in there. And it's just, they're still so young and hurting. And that's why it's so crucial for us to educate the community, educators, medical professionals, and even the community members on the potential warning signs of sex trafficking. Shared Hope's Child Sex Trafficking Warning Signs training is a fantastic resource for this.
Yes, the warning signs are right there. And they're sometimes easy overlooked, especially when victims are so good at covering up what is really happening. The signs of physical abuse, changes in behavior, and even risky online interactions. All of these are indicators that we need to watch for. We need to train people to notice these red flags and take action before it's too late.
Exactly. One thing Lindsay also brought up is that, I don't know, it really stood out to me, was the ways pimps control their victims through fear and manipulation. The way she described the mindset of needing a pimp to protect her or even them from other predators, it was so chilling. But it's the reality for so many girls and boys caught in the life. And that's why, as a community, we need to offer alternatives, healthy relationships, and supportive structures.
That is so true. And the cycle of fear and manipulation is powerful. And that's why our short, free trainings like Exploited are so important. They help teach about survivors and they help advocates and everyday people learn how to recognize the signs of traffickers. And in doing so, will empower survivors to understand that they have choices. But it also shows us that we need more resources for when they do get out: housing, therapy, jobs, and most importantly, a safe community where they feel like they belong.
Absolutely. As Lindsay said, they deserve a second chance. That's the heart of the work that we do. These survivors have so much potential to heal and to lead, and it's our responsibility to help create a path for them to move forward. We can't just get them out of the life. We need to support them as they rebuild, and that includes access to housing, employment, and long-term support.
Right, Yvonne. And for anyone who's listening and wants to help, I encourage you to check out Shared Hope's Child Sex Trafficking Warning Signs resources found in the description below, which can help you identify and support vulnerable youth. Together, we can make a real difference in the lives of those who are still caught in the cycle of exploitation.
That's right. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Remember, if you see something, say something. Check for the links of today's resources below, and let's continue the conversation, educate ourselves, and be the change that we want to see. We'll be back next time with more powerful stories of survival and hope. Until then, stay safe and stay involved.
Thank you for listening to Shared Hope International's Invading the Darkness podcast. You can continue to listen and watch our podcast on all streaming platforms. To learn more about what Shared Hope International is doing and take action to end child sex trafficking, please visit us at sharedhope.org.